We are Mike and Noelle Lewantowicz, and we are coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky, broadcast all across the country. And we are fired up with what's going on within the Alliance. Record weeks actually coming off of March, which is very exciting, and a lot of transition and a lot of stuff going on across the country, and we're still working. We are still essential, and we're excited about that. We are licensed professionals with the state to do what we do, helping people across the country. And we're going to share a little bit about how we do that and what we do, and kind of go from there. Do you want to?
Hey, happy to be here. There is a lot going on. This is a crazy time for our country, crazy time for the world. But I tell you what, it's pretty humbling to know that our business is rolling and that we're seeing a surge, and that there is really a call to action for us in our world. And we're called to serve a lot of the families that need help, that are scared, that need hope. And we need you. If you're here checking this out, we do need help. And we're getting paid to do what we do, and that's pretty exciting. So what a great opportunity. Even though it's a crazy time, we don't wish that part. But hey, we're here to do our best to serve and really thrive with what's going on.
Absolutely. So we'll get right into it. So we're going to share a little bit about our background, so maybe some of you out there can relate. And then we'll move into what is the Alliance, and how do we do it, and who else is doing it, and how do we make money in this program. And so when I first got started in this business, so Mike was not interested in this business at all. So those of you out there that might be a little bit skeptical about the Alliance, Mike was your guy, right?
Yeah, I was like, no. I heard life insurance. Like, not this guy. No. It's like, who's got two thumbs and hates life insurance?
I didn't care. I was actually, I went to school, got a degree, got into the working world, and got laid off from some jobs right out of college. And I was very frustrated, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I'm sure some of you out there are like that. And Mike and I were newlyweds at the time. We didn't have any kids or anything, but I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in my career, and I thought maybe I had to go back to school, wasn't sure. Well, a friend of mine asked me if I wanted to make some money one day, and I was like, yeah, sure, and thank God he did, because that question changed my life. His name's Alex Avian, a great friend of ours, and I worked with him in a business. So maybe some of you out there that were invited onto this Zoom session tonight, or this call tonight, maybe some of you were invited by a friend or a family member or somebody that you knew. Maybe some of you out there were invited by somebody that you didn't know. Maybe you responded to an ad, or maybe somehow somebody came across your name or referred to us. Either way, it doesn't matter. But in my case, I was invited by somebody that I knew. And I was very open at the time for looking at something. And I actually ended up driving an hour to, actually it was 9 hours, right? 9 hours. I was actually driving 9 hours. I drove 9 hours from Ohio, where I lived at the time, to Raleigh, North Carolina, to see this business and see this opportunity at a live meeting. And I went there and I saw a man by the name of Andy Albright. And that trip changed us. It changed our life. It changed what we were doing. It changed our focus. And I got very excited about what I saw when I met Andy. I saw somebody that believed in what he was doing. Like, he truly believed in what he was doing. He was sharing about this business, sharing about what you could do in this opportunity. We're going to try and cover some of that tonight, but I saw passion and energy. And that's what I was looking for, because I was drifting, trying to figure myself out, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I saw somebody who knew exactly what he wanted to do. And he was telling me and the other people in the room, hey, if you just follow me, you follow the system, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. It's not going to be perfect. There will be mistakes, but we're going to figure this out. And I was like, I was all for it. I got very excited. I came home. I said, Mike, I'm going to get my life insurance license. And he was pretty quiet. He was like, whatever, you're crazy, whatever. I don't care. You go ahead and do it. And I did. I got my license very quickly. And I started helping families out. The next day after my license was active, you do have to have a life insurance license to do this business. It's not hard to get one. We will walk you, if you don't already have one, we'll walk you through how to do that. But I helped my first family out, and my first family was us.
Yep.
Personal use, which is in one of the 8 steps to success, which is one of the tools we use in this business on how we do this business. And I helped my brother, and I helped a friend of mine get policies the day after my license was active, and I got my first paycheck.
Yep.
$283. I was like so fired up. I was like, Mike, they paid me. He thought I was crazy. He was like, whatever. A couple weeks later, he was sitting in a life insurance class thinking it was a good idea he had,
Yeah.
you know?
Let her go first. Check it out. Make sure everything's okay. So I got a license too.
And we haven't turned back since. We have been on the move with the Alliance ever since then. And that was, how long ago was that?
That was just over 20 years ago. So a little bit.
Kind of crazy.
Yes.
We have 4 kids now, and they've kind of grown up. They have grown up in the Alliance because we didn't have any kids when we started. So Mike was an electrical engineer at the time, right? So that was his background. He ended up quitting his engineering job. How long after?
About 5 months after we got started here part-time, went full-time, left the engineering world.
So we've been doing it together ever since for about 19 and a half years or so. So.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into a little bit about what the Alliance is about. So we sell life insurance, annuities, retirement protection programs. We have debt reduction type programs or debt elimination type programs, health. We can sell Medicare supplements and Med Advantage and hospital indemnity type programs, all kinds of different products and services we help families out, American families. And we're going to cover, and we're going to kind of focus mainly on the life insurance side of what we're doing. And I didn't even mention annuities. We also work with annuities as well. And but this isn't your granddaddy's insurance company. We like to have fun, make money, and make a difference here. And so we're going to do that tonight, hopefully. So basically, we have these big insurance companies we're working with, like Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, AIG, Foresters Financial. We have many different partnerships with different insurance companies, and they help make the products that we use to help these families out. And Andy Albright and the Alliance has come up with a way to create clients, people who have a need for these products. So we're not cold calling, we're not door knocking, we're not calling a list of names or anything like that. You don't have to help all your friends and family, but I suggest you do. If they need life insurance or other types of products, I suggest you help them out. But you don't have to do that. We have a system of clients that are reaching out to us asking for help. We're going to cover that. And so we're kind of like here, we connect with these families and we help them write a policy, and the insurance company pays us money to do it. They pay us commissions to do it. And you can do it part-time or full-time or anywhere in between. And we're going to help you with that. You can also build a passive income doing this too, create a business doing this too. So that's what a little bit about what the Alliance is about. So what's the opportunity? It is massive, right?
Yeah, the opportunity is massive. And really, right now you look at what's going on in the news, and it's probably more important now from a consumer demand, just because you can't help but turn on the TV and see what's there. They're talking about, how many infection counts are there today? What's the death count today? The death count has hit a new peak. We're supposed to hit our peak number of deaths. I mean, everywhere you turn in the media, it's death, 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 death. Whether it's TV, radio, or internet news, it's just all over. And we don't want it to be that way, but guess what? We're in the death insurance business. We call it life insurance to sound better, but it really is, it's a death benefit, and so that's what we're called to do, is to help people out. And so certainly of any other time, this has probably been the most prevalent time in our 20 years, just seeing how much it's on people's minds. And so having the media do free advertising for us 24/7, it's never been like this. So that is one big thing. But when we talk about the opportunity, it is massive. We work in a couple of different segments in the life insurance arena. One has been an area called mortgage protection, We've got someone, they've got a house, they've got a mortgage. They're concerned, hey, if we die, or if we have a heart attack or stroke or cancer, we want to make sure our family's got a paid for place to live. And so that's one big thing, this concept of mortgage protection. It's a life insurance product designed to help families protect or be protected in case a loved one dies. So they've got that paid for place to live. Big market for us. We've been working in that area for 20 years. It's still a big area. More recently, as the baby boomers have come of age, we've got this area called final expense protection. And final expense protection is there where we make sure families have money set aside, a program or plan to cover the cost of cremation, burial, and other bills or medical expenses that can be there when someone dies. And just allowing people to die with some kind of dignity and not have to have a GoFundMe page or a bake sale or car wash to take care of that is part of what we do. So there is a big demand for that. And those are two big markets for us. Noelle mentioned some of the other markets that we get into. Once we establish a client, we find that there's other needs that they've got. But just in the whole life insurance for final expense and mortgage protection, big area, big demand with American families thinking about it more and more. Even families just calling, just say, hey, is my beneficiary okay? Or yeah, we're thinking about getting more coverage with what's going on. And so just the timing is huge for us. So if you're wondering what's the opportunity, one, it's always been big, but it couldn't be more timely. And our business is up 30% from where we were in January just because of all the things that are going on right now. All right, so as we talk about it, now we talk about the need and the demand for it. We can also talk about the carriers that help back us up. We work with big carriers, billion-dollar companies. They're the ones that write these death benefit checks when someone dies. They have no problem doing it. They're able to cut a check. They get a death certificate and a claim form. They got the check out the door in 2 or 3 days. So companies like Mutual of Omaha, companies like AIG, companies like Foresters, these are big time companies that we've been doing business with for decades. Mm-hmm. And so these guys, in addition to paying out the claims when someone dies, they pay you commissions for helping a family out. And so we like that part too. So it takes these big time companies to capitalize what's going on. Okay. And we have a great working relationship with these guys, with Mutual of Omaha. We've been one of their top distribution partners since we started doing business with them 11 years ago. Foresters, we started doing business with in 2005. We became their #1 distribution partner 4 months later and have maintained a #1 distribution partner status every year since then. Mm-hmm. So we've got just good, tight working relationships. We're excited to continue and knowing these carriers are still accepting clients in this time when some other carriers have started to tighten up or maybe reduce the amount of business that they're writing and issuing because of the COVID. Our carriers are saying full on, bring it on, keep helping families right now. And we're very excited about that. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit more about kind of how we do things.
How do we do this?
How do we do this?
Well, we have a system in place that Andy Albright has put together for us to kind of duplicate across the country. So the cool thing is that we don't have to make it up. Like if you're out there trying to figure it out, it's already in place. It's like there's something called if you ever want to walk through a minefield, you want to go behind somebody that's already taken the steps across there and survived, right? So Andy Albright's already taken the steps for us in this business. So what do we do? Well, it starts with our Alliance Playbook. I don't know if you can see that, but everybody will get a copy of this that's an agent with us. This is accessible to everybody. It's not just a mission statement. It is why we do what we do. We believe in it, we live it, and we have it in front of us every day. And it's why do we exist? How do we behave? What will we do? How will we succeed all on one page? And it's laminated, so it's important when it's laminated.
That's right.
I'm just telling you. I'm not going to cover everything, okay, but it's why do we exist? Prosperity, inspiration, eternity. We say having a piece of the pie. Prosperity, inspiration, eternity. We know that by helping people prosper, then we'll also prosper. We know that by inspiring people, we'll also be inspired. We'll all be inspired together to do things, see things, live life to its fullest, and then eternity. Knowing that what we did here was a good thing. And that's all on our Alliance Playbook. And again, that's for everybody to access. That's a part of our organization. The next key is the 8 Steps to Success book. That's Andy Albright on there. This is my copy of that. There are 8 simple steps. This would be the first book that you would read if you were coming on board with us. We say you want to do all 8 steps of these. I mentioned one of them earlier. When I said I wrote a policy on us, a policy on myself, it was a personal policy, was my first policy that I wrote. And you can get, yes, you can get commissions on that, but it's for you to believe in what you're selling, believe in what you're doing, to lend credibility to what you're doing. And it doesn't matter to us what it is, how big it is, or nothing, anything like that. What it is it's for you to be able to create that credibility for yourself with your clients, and to know that you have what you're selling, and so that's the 8 steps to success. But there are 8 in there. That was just the first one. So what are the other keys?
So the fact is that there is a team in place, and there's a method of training. The fact that we're here on Zoom tonight is part of that, just so you can understand. We've been using technology. We're used to doing stuff face-to-face to train people, but the fact that we're a little bit limited, we've been doing and using Zoom quite a bit. We've been using it before, but now we're using it more than ever to be very transparent about how we do things to train and support people as we're going through a transition. You know, people say, well, how has your business been affected by this COVID? Well, one, demand is still there. Our clients still have money to pay for it, especially seniors that are not being laid off. And so the carriers are still issuing the product's still available. The only thing that's different is maybe in some cases how we're delivering the product, where maybe we're not going into a senior's home because they're concerned and fear. We're learning to use the phone or a Zoom session or some other means to connect with and help the client get what they want. They still want to be protected. We're just having to be a little bit different how we deliver that service, but we're able to, which is huge. Okay, so tools. One of the big things that drew me here is the fact that there was a marketing system or a lead system where people had said, hey, I have a need for your product. Can you help me? What about me over here? And the way those leads are manufactured, or we call them responses. Sometimes we're careful to not to call them leads, because somebody hears the word lead, they think that's a list of names.
Yeah.
Okay, to be clear, we actually have responses. And the way we manufacture those responses, we start by sending a letter out to somebody that talks about their mortgage, and they open it up. And when they choose to open it up, they see that there is very simply a return reply envelope, business reply envelope, and a blank letter or application form that talks about mortgage protection. Okay, and it's up to them to fill it out. So then when somebody chooses to fill it out, it looks like this, like with a lot of handwriting, right? Where they're telling us their date of birth, their gender, their height, their weight, a couple phone numbers, and a handwritten signature. And you know, what's it say on there? At the very beginning, it says, dear, in this case, Leslie, as a recent new homeowner, you may qualify to purchase our mortgage, life, and disability coverage with no physical exam. Now, just right there, it says qualify to purchase. They know they got to buy something. That's the biggest thing right there. It says qualify to purchase. It didn't say free things. It didn't say you're going to be entered into a drawing or win a trip to Disney World. It said get a set of Ginsu knives. It says you may qualify to purchase. And so that's a big differentiator.
I'll get a coupon for sending it in.
Right. It's a coupon book, but they're asking us to reach out to them and call them. Okay. We have direct mail responses as it relates to mortgage protection. We have a similar but different response for people looking for final expense protection using direct mail. We also run TV ads where people will see the TV ad that talks about final expense protection. People will call in, and we have operators standing by. We'll take their call, capture their information, and we'll get that to you. They give us a code word, so when we call them back, they know a little bit about that.
We also have 800 numbers on.
We got 800 numbers on the leads too. People will call in from that. And then also, one thing that we've recently developed is what we call a social media response, where somebody may be on a platform like Facebook and they see an ad or something that triggers their mind of thinking about funeral costs and cremation costs, and they click through and say, yes, I would like to know if I qualify in the affordable state regulated life insurance plans to pay for my final expenses. And they give us their name, their email address, their phone number, their physical address, their date of birth, and their favorite hobby. So they've got to give us all that information, and we can get that forwarded to us literally within 5 minutes of their submission on Facebook for us to have a chance to call them. And so as we get these responses, what do? Well, we're used to calling them and booking an appointment to go see them. Now we call them up and we just start talking to them right there. We say, hey, can you sit down and write a couple of things down? Good. And we start talking and having the appointment right there on the spot. Or if they're driving, we find out when they're going to get home, because they're supposed to be at home right now, not out driving around. Okay, right? Unless they're an essential worker, they need to be at home. And so we tell them we won't report them. We'll give them a few minutes and we'll check on them. Okay, but seriously speaking, we know they've got to be home. So we wait till they get home. We call them back. Or if it needs to be, in some cases, maybe it's the next day. But most of the time, that appointment happens instantly or later that day. But the fact that we've got responses in people around the country, and if you have an insurance license in your state or other states, if you have a non-resident license, you're certified to help these families no matter what state they're in, as long as you've got a resident or non-resident license to operate in that state. So that's a big part of our process. And what do we do when we start to meet with them? We find out a little bit about them. We make a friend. We find out what they're thinking about and what they need. We find out a little bit about their health so we can see which program they will qualify for. And if we're on the phone, we're sitting there writing out some numbers, and we have them write the numbers down, and we kind of lay out the scenarios and let them choose one. And then we're using a laptop and an electronic application to take an application. We send them an email for them to then walk through an electronic signature and send it back. Or in some cases, we're using a voice signature. So we can read through things, have them acknowledge over voice, and capture that as a means of signature if they're not so technically suitable to handle email, which some of our 70 and 80-year-olds or some of our 30-year-olds are not, okay? So bottom line is we've got tools to help get these people enrolled. So those are a lot of the tools. The last tool that we'll kind of hit on is we're talking, you'll get to see this. We have a new agent guide that's going to explain several of the pieces that we've covered here in more detail. We can get one mailed to you or emailed to you if you need. And then the other thing in terms of our processes that we've built is, hey, as you get started with us, we've built a promotion guide. So if you're saying, hey, how do I get started? Well, right here at the bottom, and how do I move up? We've got it laid out. And what's key more than anything, I'm not going to walk you through this, is we have it, it's in writing, and we honor it. And I think that's a big thing is it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter who your mama is or what basketball team or baseball team you're playing or a fan of, we're going to promote you, okay? And that's really huge. You do the work and you'll get promoted, and we're excited about getting you promoted within our system.
Yeah, that's the key. How do we make money doing this?
Yeah, how do we make money? You want to cover that?
Go ahead.
Okay, all right, so guess what?
How much money?
How much money, yeah. So when you help a family, you get paid. What's the easiest way to calculate your premiums? If you take the monthly premium as you're starting off times 5, that's about what you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
So if you have a premium of about $100 a month, you'll probably get paid about $500 a month at an entry level.
Roughly.
If you get a deal for $10 a month, you're probably going to make about $50. If you get a deal for $500 a month, you'll probably get paid about $2,500. Okay. So in fact, I just got a call from an agent who this is his 4th week with us. He's excited because he's having a bad day. He said, Mike, I just wrote this, my last appointment of the day, but I wrote a deal for $222 and it was with Foresters, and he already got the email like 15 minutes ago saying he's already been approved. So he's fired up out of his mind because he knows he's got himself about $2,500 come in one.
You mean they have instant approval on some of these things?
They have instant approval on some of these. We leave the house and we know that they're approved. So that's
we
exciting.
leave the phone call and know that they're
or the phone call or email, whatever it is. Yes, we got it. We know what's going on. So that's
on average, it's what, about $400 to $500 average you could expect for helping a family out, right?
Yep. Some will be more, some will be less. All good. Now, here's the crazy thing. You could be part-time. You could, maybe you still got your job. You're just looking for part-time income. Maybe your hours were reduced. Fantastic. Maybe you want to go out and help out a couple of families a week. You don't even have to leave your house to do it. Okay. Maybe you want to go full-time. Well, what's full-time for you? Is it 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week? You could run as much as you want of the 7 days. I mean, for us, crazy full-time would be doing 40 to 50 appointments a week. And you could be doing that by doing 10 appointments a day, 5 days a week without leaving your house. You got to be
still
focused.
have 2 days.
You still have 2 days to hang out and chill. Okay. So if you're crazy focused, you could be going out and putting in 5 days a week, doing 10 appointments a day and helping several of those families out and getting them enrolled and operating and earning 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 a year if you wanted to perform at a high level. And we've got some people
on our call
running at that level. Okay, so we're going to talk about a little bit about what's involved there. But
what's the other ways to make money? Is it renewals and residuals and stuff?
Yes,
like that?
so we're just talking about the front end. But here's the bonus: is several of the products we have pay renewals, passive income. You sign the family up, you get paid well now, but you get paid a little bit on the back end in the form of renewals. And what are renewals? It can be anywhere from 0.5% to 1% to 3% to 5%.
Depends.
Of the premium for anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 to 30 years of the life of the policy, depending on the product. So every product's a little bit different, but renewals are fun, okay? And then if you're excited, you really like the program, you want to put together a sales team, and you've got the patience and the work ethic to train some people and support them and coach them, you can build an override income that's pretty significant.
But you have a team to help you teach and train them right now.
That's
whether
correct.
you've even started yet. If you bring somebody on board, you can, with our promotion guidelines, you can get promoted up, because we are in need of a lot more people helping us help these families out. And so you don't have to wait to start building a team, building an agency, building a business to create some passive income along with your personal income, personal production type income.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. All right. So let's give you an idea. You want to talk about the trips?
I do want to talk about the trips.
Okay.
So these insurance companies, they and Andy come up with all these crazy, cool, all expense paid trips for 2 to different locations all across the world. And no, that's my job.
Okay.
And we've been to Portugal, we've been to Fiji, we've been to Spain, we've been to Italy, so many different trips. Alaska cruise, and that's coming up, and then we've got the one that anybody could qualify for now is the Thailand trip. I'm blocking Mike out, not blocking me out.
Okay.
The Thailand trip is coming up, that anybody on this call, you can earn an all expense paid trip for 2 to Phuket. With a P, Phuket, Thailand, and then there's an extension trip if you earn enough points to Chiang Mai, and anybody can earn that trip. The qualification period is from now all the way to the end of the year. We already have people that have already qualified just within the last 3 months into the year. We already have some people that have qualified for this trip, all expense paid. If you've ever wanted to travel around the world with people that you love being around and not have to pay for it, this is the place to do all that.
Yeah, no doubt.
So let's get to some of the successes. Who else is doing this across the country? Who else is out there making these things happen, making money and helping families out?
That's right. Hey, we'll start with our friends from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Jake and Bray, you want to go ahead and open up your microphone?
Hi guys, can you hear us?
Hi,
we can hear
you.
All right. All right. So tell us a little bit about again, we know you're from Albuquerque, but go ahead and talk a little bit about what y'all were doing when you heard about the program and when you got started, and a little bit about what's been happening in the last week or so.
Well, Jake and I were introduced to the Alliance in October of 2018, was when I attended one of my first meetings, kind of just like this, except it was in person. So I was in school for nursing. I was in nursing school. I was a medical assistant and a mom of 2. So Jake and I, we are 24 and 23 years old. So I was in the medical field. And Jake, what were you doing at that time?
I was putting together TV show and movie sets here in Albuquerque, working 60, 70 hours a week while she was doing all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we were introduced by Jara Gonzalez, who was actually warm market to us. She was my auntie, so.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. All right. So you learned a little bit about the program through Jara, and talk about some of the highlights you had in your first year, and some things you're proud of that you accomplished last year, and some things you're excited about already here just in the last, say, few days or a couple of weeks, or here this year.
Well, I would say something that I was excited about last year was our first year in the business. We earned the trip to Alaska, so we earned our first trip.
Yep.
We are well on our way and on track for Thailand. In our first year, I was able to go actually with Noelle and a lot of the other team members to Canada. So that was a cool trip. We're not really used to traveling, so it's pretty cool because we're making money and we're not having to pay for it. So.
Yeah. There we go. Cool. And as you've been helping out families, how recently have you kind of made the switch to telesales?
It's just been these last 3 weeks, I believe. Yeah, about these last 3 weeks. Last week was my first week of just telesale appointments. So
okay. You want
to
to share a little bit about your results in the last week?
So definitely have seen some improvement. So I actually had a pretty successful week last week, though, even being it was my learning curve. Last week helped 6 families. So that fired me up. This week so far, I've helped 6 families. So, and that's just the beginning of the week. So I'm fired up. It's been an adjustment, but it's cool because we're still in business. I see a lot of my family out there, unfortunately, with everything going on, they're laid off, but we have the blessing of being able to get up and work every day, and we're bringing in some income. So it's been fun.
Well, that's good. And so when you say you helped out families last week, about how much premium did you write last week? About how much premium so far this week?
So last week, we did a little bit over about 4,600 AP, I believe. So annualized premium. And then this week so far, I believe we're at about 2,500 annual premium.
At 2,500, but still early in your week, correct?
Yes, that's all.
All right. All right. Well, good. All right. So learning a lot, having fun.
Jake, what's something you're excited about moving forward here and what you're seeing with the business?
I think the biggest thing I've been excited about is that Bray and I, we always wanted to build something. Before the Alliance, we never knew how. We tried to. Didn't always work out. So once we saw this instantly and looking forward has been the ability to build something for ourselves and for our family's future and to help others do the same thing. That was probably the most exciting thing at first and still going forward, because it never really stays the same. It keeps progressing and you never really stop. As long as you're willing to work, you've got everyone there to help you, and that's probably the most thing I'm excited about is moving forward, building a business and helping other people do the same thing.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for sharing tonight. You guys are, I can't wait to see what you're going to do in the next couple weeks. I know that you earned the Toronto, did you earn the Foresters trip this year? You did.
And another trip to Toronto.
Another trip.
2 trips to Toronto within 6 months. That's pretty exciting.
Way to go. Way to go. Good job.
Awesome.
We had someone who we got started actually earned the same trip as well, Pat.
Oh,
that's right. You got someone on your team with you this time. That's cool too.
So somebody on your team brand new that you got started earned it too. Way to go, guys.
That's
Fired
exciting.
up for you.
Awesome.
Thanks for being on the call. Appreciate it.
All right, next up, let's bring up Katrina Gusting. Katrina, are you able to share your screen and open up your mic?
You got me?
Hey, we got you. Yay, Katrina.
There's that better though. I was looking at the lighting. Sorry about that. Hey
Okay,
guys.
there you go. Hey, all right. Tell everybody where you live, a little bit about your family, how you got started.
So I live in Polk County, Florida. For those of you guys who don't know, that's dead center of the state. It's a pretty rural county, which is wonderful right now because we feel a lot safer. And so I've been working with the Alliance for about 4.5 years. I started out because I was a client who never bought, right? But I was in need of a job several months after I had an appointment for mortgage protection, and the agent made a good impression on me, introduced me to Mike and Noelle. I was able to get started with the Alliance without having any idea what I was doing. Made $112,000 my very first year. It has gone up significantly every year. After this year is going to be absolutely huge. It's exciting.
Hey, talk about how much money has been paid to you so far this year. Deposits in the bank from the insurance companies.
Just under $70,000 just this
Okay.
year so far.
And we're at like April
March,
8th.
yeah.
April 8th.
April 8th.
So 70,000 in just over 3 months.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you're almost on track for a $300,000 run rate then.
I am so fired up. You don't even know. So excited.
That's cool. Okay. All right. So, so that's a big deal. All right. So let's talk about, people wondering, okay, how are you doing with the transition? How has business been for, like, say, this week or the last week and a half for you?
Okay. So this week, it ended up being a good week, but let me give you a little bit of background to the good week, because people need to know there are no super people. None of us are. And I think we give that impression a little bit too often. I was scared to death. This is the first week that I've done all telesales. Last week I had some telesales and I was out in the field some too. I really love people. I like to be able to see them. I like to be able to hug them. I hug them all. I love it, right? So it's a huge transition for me and it's scary. Man, I know I called you guys. I was on the phone with Michelle Alleman. I was on the phone with Terry Edwards. I was on the phone with Paul Menachino. If you guys only knew the tears and the frustration and the aggravation that went with the week, the whole bottom line is I did not stop. I might have took a cry break a few times or a stomp your foot like a little child with a tantrum a few times, but I kept going as much as I could. I was able to write 15 applications this past week for $9,084. My mix week last week was just under 11,000.
Okay. So emotionally you had to work a lot harder this week, but you still hit 9,000 in premium. So
I think it is important to let people know. Look, like we said at the beginning, this is a transition for the Alliance, but we're all transitioning through this together and we're working through it together. So the persistence in making it happen and the fact that you communicated and reached out to somebody is key in this business. So you don't want to do this alone. You got to have people that you can reach out to. So
and you have people all the time. You guys are always willing. That's the biggest part. There's a lot of places where people don't care and they're not genuine and they don't want to help you. They would rather see you fail because it makes them look better. This is not that place.
Yeah, we've got a team where those people you mentioned welcome your calls and they don't have any financial investment in your success. So that's
none
just
at
part
all.
of our culture and team. So that's big.
Hey, Katrina, how much did you issue pay last month, March? How much did you personally issue pay?
March was just over 33,000.
And how much did your team issue pay?
That's an excellent question. I know it was, I don't know, 65, 70?
Like $71,000 issue paid as a team.
Exciting.
And $33,000 of that was you. So get fired up. So
yeah, I'm so
ready to
fired
go.
up.
Good job.
All right.
Awesome. Cool. Hey, thanks for taking time to share with us, Katrina.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
All right.
Love you. Bye.
Junior Korea. You able to open up your video for us? Let the world see your awesome smile.
There you are.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Mike.
Hey,
How are y'all?
We are good.
how are you doing?
I'm awesome. I'm excited. Glad to be here.
Good.
Cool. All right, man. Well, tell everybody where you're from, a little bit about your family, what's going on, and maybe how you got started.
Sure. So my name is Junior Korea, and I actually started with the Alliance 8.5 years ago now. And it's crazy. I'm 26 years old, and I was 18 when I saw this. Just kind of crazy. I had a job going door to door. I was living at home with my mom and my dad, and had a job going door to door doing solar panels. And one of the doors that I knocked.
Did we lose him?
I didn't know my life was going to be changed, not painfully. I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
We can. It got a little choppy there for a second. Keep going, buddy.
Okay. So I met y'all when I was 18, and my life has changed, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually. It was awesome. And then I love this opportunity that Andy put together. So, and now 8.5 years later, I am married. And we got a baby on the way. So my wife is 16 weeks pregnant. So, woo, figuring this thing out.
Awesome. All right. Well, talk a little bit about your success this week. Again, you've done well. What's your best? Go ahead.
And you can talk about how you were feeling too, like Katrina did. That's fine.
Yeah.
I was feeling confident. I didn't have any issues at all.
Liar.
That's probably the biggest lie.
You sit on a throne of lies. You smell like beef and cheese.
Oh God. My first day doing telesales, I got a bunch of leads and I did it by myself. I sold 0 leads, 0 sales that day. And then the second day that we did it, it was me, Heidi, Blake, and Katrina at the office, and not one of us sold a single policy. And needless to say, the whole time I was very anxious, very scared, nervous, just really not sure of how this whole transition thing was going to work. And but the thing that helped me was I saw other people doing it. So then I was like, okay, other people are doing it. It's possible. So that's kind of what helped me keep my mind right. And talking to you and Noelle a lot of different times helped. But I was very, 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 very anxious, very scared, especially while making the phone calls. It's funny, I've been calling people 8.5 years and my heart beats fast, like when somebody answers. And I'm like, okay, this is weird, you know? So that was last week. And my third day, I did $1,600 in premium. So that was my third day. And then starting on Friday last week, so Friday, I did some telesales. I did 1 on Saturday. I did Monday, Tuesday, and today. So technically 5 days of work. I had 34 appointments, and I spoke with 18 of them and helped 14 for just a little bit over $11,000. So that to me was exciting. That was pretty cool.
That's very exciting, Junior.
Awesome.
Way to work through it, man. And it only took a week for you to get through it. No big deal.
Oh, crazy. All right. So, Junior, what are you excited about? What are you projecting your income is going to be this year based on what you're seeing and how the year's off to start and just your confidence is growing on the telesales side and people that are coming on board to help us help more families? What are you projecting for this year?
That's a good question. I'm thinking it'll be somewhere between $250,000 and $350,000. But who knows? I mean, I found $180 in an annuity that I could be writing tomorrow. So you don't ever know. Like, that's the beautiful thing about this business is I can make $250,000, I can make $500,000. No clue.
No clue.
That's kind of it.
Well, awesome. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for being on the call today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we want to thank again, Jake and Bray. I want to thank Junior. I want to thank Katrina. And if you're here checking things out.
Thank Andy Albright.
Absolutely. My gosh. Our mentor who's put this together continues to work to manufacture leads and build these carrier relationships and help be the architect of this system. But if you're here and you're checking things out, we know we've answered a few questions. We're sure you probably have a few more. You may be wondering, how do you get started? Get back with whoever has tuned you into this video. Hit them up with some questions. You'll probably think of some more. Ask one of these agent guides. That's right. Get one of these agent guides, learn some more, and get started. You know, time is right. We need help. People are thinking about this all the time.
We are an essential business.
That's
we
right.
are essential workers, and we need some more help helping these families out.
Absolutely. Now more
all
than
across
ever.
the country.
Now more than ever. Guys, take care.
Take care.
Have a great night.